Chapter 1, Jaden's Query. The sights and sounds of Brooklyn fill the warm summer's air. The smoke from the barbecue and jerk pits and the curry and stew from the island restaurants would make any passerby's mouth water. The bounce in one step came with the rhythm of reggae and soca from sidewalk vendors, and the West Indian woman in her colorful head wrap called you to her table for mysterious herbs, incense, sea moss, and spices. At the Korean West Indian market, Mexican workers stacked oranges and grapefruit from Florida, avocados from California, and mangoes from Haiti. The dollar vans, gypsy cabs, and buses load riders who filed out of the subway station at Eastern Parkway on their weary way home. At a nearby bakery, business was brisk. Customers flowed in and out for sweetbread, currant rolls, and cassava pone. The staff behind the counter filled every order with a smile. On most days, by 5 p.m., trays of bread were sold out, and the sweetbread shelves were bare. Batch after batch of dough was placed in the oven to accommodate the hungry demand. 40 minutes, the baker told his anxious customers. Everyone was patient. Bread has magic. Customers from Jamaica, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, and Tobago smiled and told their stories as they passed the time. When bread hot so, it's just to put butter on a slice, and that, my friends, is heaven, said the lady from St. Vincent. You have to try it with piece of Jamaican cheese, the man from Jamaica answered. Man, when you see it just out the oven, it's just so to eat it, chimed the lady in the nurse's uniform. You don't need anything with that. 8-year-old Jaden and his grandmother GranGran stood to the side enjoying the friendly banter. It was fun to guess each accent and which island of the Caribbean each person was from. Jaden listened closely as they passed the time and the bread took color. GranGran had her order filled after trays of piping hot loaves were pulled from the oven, each with a brown crust and fragrant aroma. The bag felt warm with freshness. Jaden got his sweet treat of coconut drops. Then, as they often did, the two made their way to nearby Lincoln Terrace Park, Jaden on his bike and GranGran walking briskly behind. With tree-lined hills and winding paths, the park stretched over many acres and city blocks from Eastern Parkway to East New York Avenue. Lincoln Terrace Park was Jaden's favorite place to ride his bike. He could hardly wait to get there. Soon he was coasting downhill with GranGran calling out, "Jay, don't make me say it more than once. Be careful." "Okay, GranGran." GranGran never needed much convincing to visit the park. She looked forward to a bench near the netball court where she could watch girls from the islands play in the Summer Netball League while Jaden rode his bicycle up and down. Short of breath and damp with sweat, Jaden rested the bike against the bench as the jingle of the ice cream truck rounded the bend. GranGran fetched his favorite rainbow Italian ices. As he licked away, Jaden pointed to a green sign with white letters secured on the park fence. It read, "Carlos Lazama Netball Courts." "GranGran," he said, leaning on her shoulder. "Who is Carlos Lazama?" GranGran was the perfect person to answer his question. For years, she had been a close neighbor of the Lazama family on Dean Street, and because of that, she often heard stories from Mr. Carlos Lazama himself. "Do you know the Labor Day Carnival we go to every year? where people from all over the islands parade in colorful costumes along Eastern Parkway, she asked. Yes, GranGran. The man on TV said the Labor Day parade is the biggest carnival in the United States. Yes, it is, she smiled. So Carlos Lozama was responsible for organizing that festival for many years. Is he from Brooklyn? Asked Jaden. Well, he moved to Brooklyn in the 1950s. Carlos spent his formative years in Trinidad and Tobago. He attended school in Belmont, an area in Port of Spain, in the 1930s. Like most boys his age, he would be outside making friends, playing football, cricket, and marbles, and building colorful kites to fly in the nearby Queen's Park Savannah. He was always fascinated by the culture of the island.